I walked in on my mom cheating with my little brother. The second I opened the door, everything froze. Mom was sitting way too close to him on the couch, whispering and laughing quietly. My little brother didn't even look scared. He smirked like he had been expecting me. What are you doing?" I asked. Mum jumped, knocking over her coffee. "It's not what it looks like," she said, but I could tell she was nervous. My little brother just laughed. He wasn't afraid at all. Then he handed me a folded note. I opened it. It read, "If you tell anyone, you'll regret it. Trust me." "What does that mean?" I asked. "Trust me," he said calmly. "None of this is normal." Before I could react, the front door slammed open. My dad walked in. I expected him to yell. I expected him to scream. Instead, he stopped and just stared at us. "You weren't supposed to see this yet," he said quietly. "What do you mean?" I asked. "Family things. Complicated things. Secrets you don't understand yet," he said, smiling faintly. Suddenly, chaos exploded. My dog ran into the kitchen and knocked over a vase. Water spilled everywhere. Mum screamed. I slipped. My little brother laughed like it was a game. My dad stayed calm, just watching everything. I looked around the living room. Mum was panicking. My little brother was grinning. Dad wasn't saying a word. The air felt heavy, like something was about to happen. Then I noticed a box under the couch. I opened it. Old photos, letters, envelopes marked in Mum's handwriting. My heart skipped when I saw a photo of Dad holding me as a baby. But something was off. The dates didn't make sense. He looked older than he should have. I dropped the box. My heart was pounding. You're my brother?" I asked. He didn't answer. He just smiled faintly. "Not everything is ready to be revealed yet." Before I could react, my mum yelled, "Stop asking questions." I wanted to run. I wanted to leave, but I couldn't. My little brother grabbed my arm. "Come with me." "I'll explain," he said. We ran upstairs. Mom shouted from below, "Don't listen to him." We reached the hallway. Dad, older brother, was standing at the top of the stairs, calm, watching. He didn't move, didn't say anything, just stared. My little brother led me to a closet at the end of the hall. Inside were boxes, envelopes, and photographs. Some photos showed me as a baby. Others had faces blurred. Dates didn't match. Some were clearly staged. "Look closer," my little brother said. "Not everything is what it seems." I picked up a photo. On the back, a name I didn't recognize, Marcus, and a note, "Keep him safe. The truth will come soon." "What does this mean?" I asked. "Mum and Dad kept secrets," my little brother said. "They split things up to protect you. You're only just old enough to see it now." Before I could say anything, a loud crash came from the kitchen. Mom had dropped a plate. My dad, older brother, stood in the doorway silently. I jumped. "You shouldn't be in here," he said calmly. "Why?" "What is happening?" I yelled. Mom screamed at him. "He's not ready." My little brother grabbed my arm. "Come on." "There's more," he said. We ran down the stairs. Chaos had spread. The dog had knocked over the laundry basket. Cat had shredded papers. Mum was frantically trying to clean. Dad, older brother, stood silently, watching everything. Then a letter slid from under the couch. My name was on it. I picked it up. The handwriting was Mom's. It said, "If anyone discovers Marcus, everything falls apart. Keep him safe. He is not who you think he is." I froze. Marcus, older brother, Dad. My mind spun. My little brother whispered, "Trust me. But be careful. Not everyone here is who they seem." I realized then that everything, every smile, every argument, every lie, had been planned. My family was hiding secrets. I had just stumbled into the middle of it all. I looked at Dad, older brother, and he gave me a small nod. Calm, serious. I realized the night wasn't over, not even close. We ran upstairs, my little brother dragging me down the hallway. Mum shouted from the living room, "Stop, don't touch anything." But we ignored her. I had too many questions. Everything made no sense. My dad, older brother, was at the top of the stairs, calm, arms crossed, watching us like we were pieces on a board. We stopped at the end of the hall. My little brother opened a small closet. Inside were boxes stacked high, envelopes spilling over, old photographs pinned on the walls. I froze. "What is all this?" I asked. "Everything," my little brother said. "You need to see everything if you're going to understand." I picked up a photo. It was Dad holding me as a baby, smiling. But the date didn't match. He looked older than he should. Something clicked in my mind. I dropped it. "You're older than I thought," I said slowly. He nodded. "Some truths aren't ready for everyone. But you're old enough now." I felt sick. My mum had been hiding something. My dad, older brother, was hiding more. My little brother had been part of it. And I was in the middle. Then he pulled down a folder marked Top Secret. Inside were papers, letters, photographs, receipts, and more. Every letter had my name on it. Every photograph showed events I didn't remember. Things were off, too planned. "Why am I in the middle of this?" I asked. "Because you're the key," he said. "Everything we did, all the lies, all the chaos, it was for you." Before I could process that, a loud bang came from the kitchen. Mum had dropped a dish again. Water and food spilled on the floor. The dog ran through, knocking over a chair. My little brother laughed. Then my dad, older brother, spoke for the first time in hours. Calm, low voice. "You need to see the rest." "Sit down," I sat. My little brother handed me a photograph. It was me as a baby with a man I didn't recognize, older, taller. He looked like Dad, but different. "That's your real father," my little brother said. "Your older brother raised you, protected you, everything you know. It was part of the plan. I dropped the photograph. My head was spinning. What? What do you mean? Dad isn't my dad. He shook his head. He's your older brother. Everything else is part of the setup. Mom stepped into the hallway, pale, trembling. You weren't supposed to see this yet, she said. My little brother grabbed my hand. Come on, I'll show you more. You need to understand. We went to the attic. Boxes, letters, photos, and documents covered every surface. Some had dates decades old. Some were labeled "Do Not Open." I picked one up. My mom's handwriting. Keep him safe. Do not let anyone know the truth. Marcus must be protected. I froze. Marcus. My dad, older brother, my little brother. I didn't know what to think. Suddenly, a knock came from the attic door. Heavy, slow. Someone was outside. Mom shouted from below, "Don't open it!" I ignored her. My little brother grabbed my arm. If they get in, it all ends. Everything? The doorknob rattled. The door burst open. Our neighbor was standing there, wild-eyed, holding a folder identical to the one I had. You don't understand. You're in danger, he yelled. I froze. My little brother whispered, "Not everyone in this house is who they seem." Mom rushed up the stairs, shoving the neighbor out. Chaos erupted. Furniture toppled. Dog barking. Cats screeching. Papers flew everywhere. My dad, older brother, finally raised his voice. Enough. Everyone calm down. I turned to my little brother. Why? Why all of this? He shook his head. Because you're the key. You always were, I stared at him. Key to what? You'll see soon, he said. Then he handed me a sealed envelope, my name on it. Inside, photos of me as a baby, with my dad, older brother, and someone I had never met. One photo had a note on the back. Protect him. The truth cannot fall into the wrong hands, I looked at everyone. Mom pale. Dad, older brother, watching calmly. My little brother smirking. The dog barking. The cat hissing. The house had gone completely insane. I realized then that every argument, every lie, every chaotic moment in my life had been planned. And I had just stumbled into the middle of it all. I took a deep breath. I wasn't ready for what came next. But there was no turning back. The attic smelled like dust and old paper. Boxes stacked to the ceiling, envelopes spilling everywhere. My little brother led me through the mess. You need to see this, he said. Everything makes sense here. I picked up a photo. Me as a baby, in my dad's older brother's arms. The date didn't match what I remembered. He looked older than he should. My stomach dropped. You've been lied to your whole life, my little brother said calmly. What do you mean? I asked, my hands shaking. Everything, he said. Mom, Dad, me. Everything you know isn't the full story, and now it's time you see why I froze. My mind raced. Mom had been hiding secrets. My dad, older brother, was hiding more. My little brother, he had been part of it. And I was the center of it all. He pulled out a folder labeled Top Secret. Inside were letters, photographs, and documents I couldn't understand at first. But as I read, everything began to make sense in pieces. My mom had been keeping accounts no one knew about. My dad, older brother, had been orchestrating things behind the scenes. And me? I was supposed to be protected, guided, and tested. I picked up a photograph. On the back, a name I didn't recognize, Marcus. And a note, protect him at all costs. The truth will come soon. Marcus, who is that? I asked. My little brother shook his head. Someone you'll meet soon. Your life depends on understanding him. Before I could react, a crash came from below. Mom had dropped a dish again. Water, food, papers, everything went flying. The dog ran in, knocking over a chair. My little brother laughed. Focus, he said. Look at this. He pulled out another envelope. Inside were photographs of my dad, older brother, when he was younger, holding a child who wasn't me. Someone bigger, someone older, someone familiar, yet strange. Who is that? I asked. That's part of your family too, he said. Someone you never met. Someone your dad, older brother, kept hidden. Everything was to protect you from them. I felt my head spin. I don't understand. Dad isn't just my dad? And Dad, who is this? You'll see soon, my little brother said. All will be revealed. But you need to trust me. You're the only one who can do this. Mom appeared at the attic door, pale and trembling. Don't go too far, she said. Not everything is ready. My dad, older brother, finally spoke. Calm, low voice. You're ready to see the truth. But once you do, nothing will be the same. I looked down at the folder. Documents spilling secrets about my family, letters, accounts, old photographs. Everyone telling a story I didn't know. And suddenly I realized every argument, every fight, every chaotic moment in my life had been planned. Then my little brother whispered, "You're the key. Everything comes down to you, the rest of us. We're just preparing the way." I wanted to scream, I wanted to run, but I couldn't. Not now, not with all this chaos in front of me. Another crash came from downstairs. Mum shouted, the dog barked, cat screeched, papers scattered. The chaos had spilled through the entire house, and in the middle of it, I felt the weight of the secrets pressing down on me. My little brother handed me one final envelope. My name was on it. I opened it slowly. Inside, photos of me as a baby. My dad, older brother, holding me, and someone else I had never seen. The handwriting on the back said, "Protect him." The truth cannot fall into the wrong hands. I looked at my little brother. He nodded. Now you understand. Now you're ready. Before I could react, the attic door rattled. Heavy, slow. Someone was outside. Mum shouted from below, "Don't open it." The doorknob twisted, the door burst open. Our neighbor stood there, wild-eyed, holding a folder identical to mine. "You don't understand, you're in danger," he yelled. I froze. My little brother whispered, "Not everyone in this house is who they seem." Mom ran up the stairs, shoving the neighbor out. Chaos erupted again. Papers flew, dog barked, cat hissed, furniture tipped over. My dad, older brother, finally raised his voice. "Enough." "Calm down." I looked around, Mom trembling. Dad, older brother, silent. My little brother smirking, papers everywhere. The house had gone completely insane. I realized then everything had been planned. Every lie, every secret, every fight had a purpose. And now I was in the middle of it all. I took a deep breath, my hands shook, my heart raced. I wasn't ready, not fully, but there was no turning back. The attic was a war zone. Papers scattered across the floor, boxes tipped over, photographs pinned to the walls, envelopes spilling everywhere. My little brother grabbed my arm. "It's time you see everything," he said. "No more hiding." I looked around. Mum was pale, hands shaking, standing near the door. Dad, older brother, leaned against the wall, arms crossed, calm as ever. It was impossible to tell what he was thinking. Every shadow in the room felt alive, watching me. I picked up a photograph, me as a baby in Dad's older brother's arms. But there was someone else, a man I didn't recognize, older, taller. Something about him felt familiar. My stomach turned. "Who is that?" I asked. "That's part of your family too," my little brother said. "Someone you've never met." Someone Dad, older brother, kept hidden. Everything was to protect you from them. I dropped the photo. My head was spinning. "I don't understand." "Dad isn't just my dad. And who is this?" "You'll understand soon," my little brother said. "You're ready for the truth." "But you need to trust me." Mom stepped forward, trembling. "You shouldn't see this yet," she said. "It's dangerous." "I need to see," I said. I couldn't stop. I needed answers. Dad, older brother, finally spoke. Calm, low voice. "You're ready. But once the truth is out, nothing will be the same." My little brother opened a large envelope. Inside were photographs, letters, and documents. I started flipping through them. Everything I thought I knew about my family crumbled. Mom had been hiding secret bank accounts. My little brother had been making late-night trips nobody knew about. Dad, older brother, had been orchestrating events for years, making sure I stayed protected. One photo had me as a toddler with a man I'd never seen, smiling at the camera. On the back, a note: "Protect him. The truth cannot fall into the wrong hands." I froze. Marcus, my older brother, the man in the shadows. "Everything you've seen, every fight, every scream, it was all planned," my little brother said, "to prepare you, to protect you, and now it all comes down to you." Before I could react, a loud crash came from the kitchen. Mom screamed. The dog ran through, knocking over a chair. The cat leapt onto a shelf, sending books tumbling. Chaos had spread through the house. My dad, older brother, finally raised his voice. "Enough!" His calm voice cut through the chaos. "Listen, it's time you understand your place in all of this." I looked at him. "Place? What place? I don't understand anything." "You're not just a bystander," my little brother said. "You're the key. Everything depends on what you do next." Then he handed me another envelope. Inside, photos of me as a baby, Dad, older brother, holding me, and someone else I'd never met. The handwriting on the back said, "Protect him. The truth cannot fall into the wrong hands." I realized then that my entire life had been orchestrated. Every fight, every lie, every chaotic moment had a purpose. And I was in the middle of it all. Another crash from downstairs. Mom yelled, the dog barked, the cat hissed, papers flew, the house had turned into complete chaos. I turned to my little brother. "I don't understand any of this. How could my family hide so much from me?" He smiled faintly. "Because you weren't ready? Now you are. And what comes next will change everything." Dad, older brother, finally stepped forward. "Everything you know is only half the truth. The rest depends on what you do." I swallowed hard. My heart pounded. I was standing at the center of a family storm I didn't even know existed. Secrets, lies, and chaos all collided in one night, and I realized the night wasn't over. Not by a long shot. If you want, I can now finish with part 5, approximately 1,500 plus words, where the final revelations hit, the older brother truth is fully revealed, and the chaotic story reaches its climax, perfect for a complete 20-minute narration. The attic felt tighter now, packed with papers, boxes, and secrets. Shadows flickered in the corners. My little brother grabbed my arm. "It's time," he said. "You need to understand everything. No more hiding." I looked at Mom, pale, trembling, standing near the door. My dad, older brother, leaned against the wall, arms crossed, watching silently. His calm expression made my stomach twist. I picked up a photograph. Me as a baby, in Dad's, older brother's arms. But someone else was in the picture, a man I didn't recognize, taller, older. My mind reeled. "Who is that?" I asked. "That's part of your family too," my little brother said. "Someone you've never met. Someone Dad, older brother, kept hidden. Everything was to protect you from them." I dropped the photo, my head spun. "I don't understand. Dad isn't just my dad. And who is this?" "You'll understand soon," he said. "But you have to trust me." Mom stepped forward, voice shaking. "You shouldn't be here." "You're not ready?" "I need to know," I said. I couldn't stop. I needed answers. Dad, older brother, finally spoke. Calm, deep voice. "You're ready to know the truth. But once it's out, nothing will be the same." My little brother opened a folder. Inside, photographs, letters, documents, everything revealing decades of secrets. My mom had been hiding accounts, my little brother had been sneaking around, and Dad, older brother, had orchestrated everything to protect me. One photograph caught my eye, me as a toddler with a man I didn't know, smiling at the camera. On the back, protect him. The truth cannot fall into the wrong hands. I froze. Marcus, my older brother, the man hidden in the shadows. Everything you've seen, every argument, every fight, was planned, my little brother said, to prepare you, to protect you. And now, it all depends on you. A loud crash came from downstairs. Mum screamed. The dog ran through, knocking over a chair. The cat leapt onto a shelf, sending books and papers flying. Chaos had consumed the house. Enough, Dad, older brother, shouted, finally raising his voice. Listen, it's time you understand your role. I turned to him. My role? I don't even know what's happening. You're not just a bystander, my little brother said. You're the key. Everything depends on what you do next. He handed me another envelope. Inside, more photographs of me as a baby with Dad, older brother, and someone I had never seen. On the back, protect him. The truth cannot fall into the wrong hands. I realized then that my entire life had been orchestrated. Every fight, every lie, every chaotic moment, it had a purpose, and I was in the center of it all. Another crash came from downstairs. Mom yelled, the dog barked, the cat hissed, papers flew, the house was complete chaos. I turned to my little brother. How could my family hide all this from me? Because you weren't ready, he said. Now you are. And what comes next will change everything. Dad, older brother, stepped forward. Everything you know is only half the truth. The rest depends on your choice. My heart pounded. Fear, confusion. Everything I thought I knew about family, love, and trust had been lies. But now, I understood at least part of the truth. I looked at my mom, trembling, and my little brother, smirking. I looked at Dad, older brother, silent, watching. I realized I had a choice. Walk away, pretend none of this happened, forget it. Or accept it. Accept that my dad was really my older brother, my little brother had been orchestrating events, my mom had secrets, and my entire life had been manipulated. I took a deep breath. I accept it, I said. Mom exhaled, relief flooding her face. My little brother smiled wide. Dad, older brother, nodded approvingly. Chaos didn't stop. Papers fluttered to the floor. The dog barked. The cat hissed. Shadows danced on the walls. But something shifted. The tension, the fear, the mystery. It settled into a new order. I understood now. The secrets, the lies, the chaos, they had all been to prepare me for this moment. And now I was ready. Mom handed me a letter, simple handwriting, my name on it. It said, "You are ready. The rest is up to you." I folded it slowly. My heart raced. My family surrounded me. My little brother grinned. Dad, older brother, looked calm but serious. Mom's hands trembled slightly. I realized the night wasn't over. Not completely. Chaos might return. Secrets might resurface. But I had survived the first storm, and I knew now I could survive the next. I took a deep breath. The house was still in chaos, papers and photos scattered everywhere. The dog barked, the cat hissed, but I stood firm. I whispered to myself, this is only the beginning. And for the first time, I felt ready.